There was a hearing that the now fired CDC director Monarez from the week ago when RFK Jr. fired her because he can't trust her. That's what he said. That he can't trust her because she wouldn't carry out all of his non-scientific, off the top of his head, anti-vax thoughts that he wanted to turn into normal policy. He was upset. Markwayne Mullin decided to ask her, and he really thought he was on a roll here. He decided to ask her about whether or not she was fired and told that RFK Jr. can't trust her, or if she said something else. It's embarrassing for him.
Ma'am, it was a recorded meeting. So you can testify one way, or you can prove that you're lying or going to be honest with this committee. I'm giving you the opportunity to be honest here because you've been really walking around the edges and not being truthful. So did he ask you the question, can he trust you? And your answer was?
He told me he could not trust me. And I told him if he could not trust me, he could fire me.
That isn't how that conversation went. And you know that, don't you?
He told me he could not trust me. And I told him if he could not trust me, he could fire me.
Ma'am, all we're looking for is you to be honest. And you haven't been. You're not being honest with the conversation you're having. You're not being honest with the timeline, and you won't even give the answers of who your attorneys were. And all we're looking for is you to be honest. If we're going to have a hearing and we're going to discuss certain things, let's make sure we're talking with someone that we can trust your answers. It's like my kids. I tell my kids all the time, one thing I want from you, I can deal with any situation we walk into as long as I know you're being 100% honest with me. The minute I can't tell you're being honest with me, I can't trust you. From then on, everything you say is questioned. And you have to question you because your personality and your answers aren't correct.
That's a lot of things going on there. Markwayne Mullin was saying he tried to, turn her into like a childlike figure because he didn't like the reality, because she wouldn't agree to his account that he claimed was recorded of the conversation between Monarez and RFK Jr. when RFK Jr. said, "I can't trust you." He can't trust her to carry the water and be a yes man like he wanted her to be. But for some reason, Markwayne Mullin thinks that he can threaten her and say, well, I can't trust you. You're like my kids. As long as you start telling me the truth now, young lady, then maybe after that, we can go anywhere else with this. But I can tell that you're not telling me the truth. It's similar to what I've been saying. Once someone you've determined is a liar, stop believing them, right? From then on, stop believing them. Check out the results of that seemingly recorded conversation that Markwayne Mullin said is 100% recorded and that Monarez was lying. Don't forget he said that with full confidence.
For the record, it's just been reported that Senator Mullin told reporters that he was mistaken in saying that the RFK Monarez meeting was recorded. But in case he's mistaken that he was mistaken, if there is a recording, it should be released. And it would beg the question of what other conversations were recorded. And I'll repeat what I said earlier. We have sent a request to HHS for records related to these incidences. We've yet to receive those. But of course, it would help the committee, which on both sides has found itself scratching its head. It'd help us kind of discern what the truth is.
Was Markwayne Mullin still in the room when Republican Senator Bill Cassidy then had to say he's acknowledged to reporters that he was mistaken on his berating of Monarez about the recording of that conversation? If only, Markwayne, you would have been honest with us from the beginning, then maybe we could trust you. See, it's like my kid. I reprimand him and I tell him, if you fucking lie, then I can never trust you again. So I have a question for the rest of the country. Why should we ever trust Markwayne Mullin again? Why should we ever trust Donald Trump again? Why should we ever trust J.D. Vance again? Why should we ever trust Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, everybody in this administration? Because they're all lying every day by Markwayne Mullin's standards. Once I see you're a liar, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. We shouldn't even be talking to you anymore. Everything you say starts with this lesser credibility because you've already proven yourself to be a liar. It's like what you tell your kids. Except once you're an adult and you're a liar, especially if you're an elected official in this MAGA Republican Party, your lies become reality. That is until you're busted for it and your sorry, cowardly ass can't even stay in the room. What a bitch. God, what a bitch. He's the same guy, by the way, during January 6th when he keeps talking about how great that day was. He was the bitch that was hiding behind chairs, trying to figure out if one of those right-winger MAGA guys was going to shoot him because he heard them chanting about how they wanted to hang Mike Pence. That's the same guy. Don't be ruled by cowards. Don't be ruled by scared people. They're afraid. They're afraid. That's why it's masked with all this machismo. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, young lady. That is until you run away. Stop letting them control you. There's one more embarrassing moment from this hearing. Senator Ashley Moody. I hadn't heard of her before, but she tries it with Monarez as well too. So many times in these hearings, you may see one side or the other, Democrats or Republicans, that have certain angles and they want to dispel someone's credibility. That's been their objective here, as you saw with Markwayne Mullin's failed attempt. But Ashley Moody decided to go and say that there's this coordinated effort to try and make President Trump and RFK Jr. look bad because they don't do that well themselves. Watch her try and stumble her way through this.
You have this whole network of people that's trying to embarrass the president or go after the president, and now you are joining this group. Why don't you want to give their names?
Their names have been publicly associated with them. They issued public remarks early on.
Let me ask your colleague. I've noticed they've also been giving you notes too and whispering to you. Will you state their names?
So their names are Abby Lowell and Mark Zaid.
That wasn't too hard. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really was genuinely asking so that the record was clear. But now I'm wondering what else we're trying to hide. And I'll go back to you.
Whoops. That's one of those moments when you thought she had some kind of cornering happen and she figured that Monarez was lying. So she said, why don't you just expose the names? Similar to when, Kash Patel wouldn't expose any names and he continued on that road. So when she asked, why don't you say the names then? And then she gave the names. She's like, damn, I wasn't expecting you to answer the question because I thought I was on to something. That's when she said, I was genuinely asking the question. Once she said that, there was probably like an anxiety ball in her stomach where she's like, where do I go from here? How do I pull this off now? This is where she decided to go next. She's figured, I'm still going to go for the credibility angle.
Did you plan to coordinate? And I'll go back to the original witness. Did you plan to coordinate this public spectacle surrounding your firing?
No.
And have you coordinated with Dr. Oury? Am I pronouncing that correctly? And I apologize if I'm not. Did you coordinate with her or anyone else that you worked with surrounding your leaving?
I did not coordinate with anyone surrounding my leaving. I was terminated abruptly.
So you had no advance plan to write an op-ed, do a public hearing. I noticed that you immediately called our chairman.
I had committed during my confirmation process several elements, including integrity, transparency, working with Congress.
But you had no advance plan with any colleagues?
I had no advance plan with any colleagues.
Dr. Oury, if there wasn't an advance plan, did you tell a reporter we agreed to do this together?
Myself, Dr. Jernigan, and Dr. Daskalakis.
Agreed to do this all together?
Once Dr. Monarez was being terminated, the three of us knew that we could not remain given our ethical concerns and commitment to scientific integrity.
It's weird how when you're trying to go after some folks who are telling the truth and are being honest about the things that they were doing and why they did them, you get the answers that you weren't expecting. So both of those folks that I talked about it when RFK was going after them, Dr. Oury, and there were several others that communicated together to talk about how they're going to then leave because they all feel that they can't be yes men and put their names on bad science that will get people sick and killed. So yeah, they collectively talked about leaving. Is that a problem? Senator Moody? Is that a problem? Because she keeps trying to find that to somehow be a problem, because the problem then ends is where she started. Were you guys trying to embarrass this president? Everything, when a fascist president is fully in power, is about making sure you do not cross him. So her entire objective was to discredit these folks because they must have been trying to hurt the president's feelings. Here's where it all wraps up. Last one, you guys. Senator Bill Cassidy, the same one that had to reveal that Markwayne Mullin is a chump, the same one he had to come in and talk about, because Moody's lines of questioning was talking about how they shouldn't be organizing or talking to anyone on oversight committees or any of these folks because it must be something nefarious, except she doesn't know how this works. So again, Republican Senator Bill Cassidy had to, reveal something.
I just want to make a brief comment as my name was invoked. As the chairman of the committee with jurisdiction over the CDC that favorably reported Dr. Monarez as CDC director, it is entirely appropriate for someone with oversight concerns to contact my office or me, or frankly, any of us. Upon receiving outreach from Dr. Monarez, I contacted both the Secretary and the White House to inquire what was happening and to express concerns about what was alleged. As soon as the director was fired, the HELP committee began reviewing the situation as it is our responsibility, and any and all communications with the witnesses was conducted by HELP staff in coordination with attorneys.
Those communications that Senator Moody was talking about must have been nefarious. Cassidy had to let her know it's completely appropriate and, in fact, encouraged. It's almost like they're a bunch of incompetent people whose only objective is to serve a fascist president. And when that's your only objective, you can ask very simple questions. You can poke holes in their arguments because their arguments always go back to being right up Donald Trump's ass. That's the only objective they've got. That's their jobs now. Last thing, let's not forget Senator Cassidy, who's had to come up with these exposing moments. He's the guy who convinced enough Republican senators to confirm RFK Jr. because he got promises that as soon as he starts messing up, he's going to have some oversight and talk to him about it. Now look at where he is. This is why I always say, you may hear Republicans now talk about how this guy is crazy. Chuck Grassley just yesterday I was showing. I can't believe he's destroying our country like this. Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these guys that are finally starting to see the light. I'm glad you're saying it. Now, when are you going to do something about it? If you just say it, all that does is save your ass. When are you going to do something about it, Senator Cassidy? What are you going to do? Because he pointed out how RFK Jr. is an anti-vaxxer, which we all knew, and he's screwing things up, which we all knew. Now, what are you going to do about it? Until they do something about it, it's all bullshit.